Chapter 61. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Vesper, all the hands of the uncles and aunts have ink because they are innocent, so they grab until the bottom, while because you have a guilty heart, you did not touch until the bottom, so how can your hand be tainted by ink? Ning Mengyao laughed as she gazed at Madame Luo, as if waiting for her to explain. Madame Luo's face changed. That. You cannot say that it's me. I did not. Madame Luo stammered, did not admitting that she was the one who took. Ning Mengyao did not force her, only looking at her. When you put your hand in, you must have thought that only you did not touch the bottom, then your hand would not have anything on it. But you did not thought that I would put ink on the bottom, did you? If you did not feel guilty, then why didn't you dare to touch? Madame Luo gasped and could not say anything. The person beside her could not see this. That's right. Everybody got tainted hand, why is yours clean? You must have been guilty just like what Mengyao girl said. I. You what? You daughter also grabbed, why did you not? Madame Luo, I did not think that you are this kind of person, actually stealing a maiden's things. How can you be guiltless? Madame Yang glared at Madame Luo as she angrily spoke. Yang Xiao looked at her own mother in disbelief. Was it really her mom who stole? Yesterday morning, mom went out for a while and brought back many white rice, white noodle, even wild fruits. She asked and Madame Luo did not say anything, only telling her to not ask too much. Seeing it now, Madame Luo really did something bad. Go to Madame Luo's house. Yang Zhu gritted his teeth. The villagers went to Madame Luo's house together and in the kitchen cabinet, there were white rice and white noodle, all kinds were half a bag full. There were written on each bag about what kind of rice each bag contained. On the kitchen hanged a few marinated wild fruits. Seeing those, the people turned silent. Before, they were only guessing, but now, there were proofs that it was the truth. The villagers would sell their own white rice and white noodle, not leaving any behind to eat with the exception of wealthy people. What they ate was coarse noodle and brown rice. Eating white rice and white noodle was only once in a while and only Ning Mengyao could eat white rice and noodle daily. The proof had presented itself before the mass and people looked at Madame Luo in disgust. Madame Luo did not know what should she do and now knew regret. She should not put the things in the kitchen, she should have hid them well. How could she be so stupid? It seems that the dinner your family ate is stolen from Ning Mengyao's house. The person who wanted to call out Madame Luo's family before stared at them in irony. Yang Xiao stared at her mom, not knowing what to feel. Could she blame her mom? She could not, so she could only be silent. Though Yang Xiao did not say anything, Madame Luo's husband was angry. He walked forward and slapped Madame Luo's face. You said you bought these things. Is this your so-called buying? Yang Hua glared heatedly at Madame Luo. Once this words come out, it was acknowledging that she stole Ning Mengyao's things. The crowd pointed at them and spoke among themselves. Yang Xiao knew that from now onward, her reputation would not be good, daughter of a thief. This was her mom. Girl, I am truly sorry. Glancing at Yang Hua, Ning Mengyao's mouth carried satire. Saying sorry now. Why not earlier? How could Yang Hua not know his family's condition? Madame Luo said she bought them and he just believed. What a fool. Being stared at someone using this kind of gaze made Yang Hua's face dim. Yang Zhu who walked beside them seriously said. Let's discuss how to solve this matter. I will return the things and compensate for the missing portion. Yang Hua immediately said. Ning Mengyao smiled instead. Then what about her? They all looked at where Ning Mengyao was pointing and it was where Madame Luo tripped onto the ground. This. Girl, can you let go of your aunt this once? I will teach her well. Yang Hua awkwardly grabbed his hair and said with embarrassment. But Ning Mengyao laughed with ridicule. Let her go. How big is your face to make me let her go? The thing stolen from the house was hers and now he wanted to lightly write off this matter. Did he took her as a fool? Chapter 62 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Vesper Yang Hua was a bit unhappy. No matter what, they were Ning Mengyao's elders. They had returned the things back, but she was still not satisfied. How do you want to deal with this? Ning Mengyao was amused. She laughed non-stop because of Yang Hua's words. You ask me what do I want? Have I not given her chance? Asking me now what do I want, isn't it too late? Ning Mengyao coldly smiled as she stared at Yang Hua. Yang Hua was blocked by Ning Mengyao's words, only deadly staring at Ning Mengyao. That gaze was very ugly. Ning Mengyao did not care about this, lightly saying. What was taken must be returned, send her to the officials. Those faint words, sent to the officials, shocked Yang Hua and Yang Xiao until their faces turned white. No, you cannot send mom to the officials. Yang Xiao immediately ran out, shaking her head non-stop. If it was only in the village, then it was not a big deal, but if the officials are involved, then how should she live? Was this not telling everyone that her mother was a thief? Yang Xiao, with what kind of identity are you talking to me not to send her to the official? If not wanting to be sent to the official, then don't do this thing. I've said it yesterday that if by morning my things are returned, then I will forgive the thief. Today, I also gave a whole day to return my things. But what did your mother do? Ning Mengyao coldly gazed at Yang Xiao, her voice cold and biting. The person beside thought Ning Mengyao to be a bit heartless, but thinking about it now. That's right, she had told us yesterday that if the things were returned, then she would forgive the thief. She also spent a whole day at the village head's house. Was this not giving Madame Luo chance? Who should she blame that she did not cherish her opportunity? Saying this now, was it not too late? When Madame Luo heard Ning Mengyao speaking, she did not out it to her heart. There were many people in the village, how could she knew who stole her things? No matter what, they would not search to her Madame Luo's head. But before she could be smug, she was caught. This. How should she react to this? Ning Mengyao squatted down to sit on the floor, seeing Madame Luo who had a red swollen face. Don't you regret it now? Too bad that regretting is useless. Yang Xiao heard Ning Mengyao's apathetic words and her face changed. She looked at Ning Mengyao with begging. Mengyao, I plead you. Whatever you want, my family will give it to you, just don't send my mom to the official. If my mom is sent to the official, I'm done for. What does you being ruined have anything to do with me? And what can your family give me? Saying it in other words, what thing can your family possess that I will want? Ning Mengyao was not boasting. No matter what she said, she was now a little landlord and still had money in her hands. What she wanted she could get. Yang Xiao's family was medium class and not that good. What could they possess that Ning Mengyao would want it? What do you want? Yang Xiao almost could not accept it and shouted. Ning Mengyao coldly snorted and had on a smile that did not look like a smile. These words make it as if I am the one who is wrong. Did I made your mother pry the locks and steal my things? Or did I drag your mother to do that? The people present did not feel that Ning Mengyao was in the wrong, instead feeling that Yang Xiao and her father was really not that good. What you want? Hearing this was strange. Your family did something wrong yet you still blamed it on others. Uncle Yang, please lend us your cow cart. After saying this, Madame Luo was dragged outside. The young father and daughter exchanged a look and their faces changed. They immediately blocked Ning Mengyao's road. Mengyao, I know my family is in the wrong, I hope you can forgive my mom this once. I beg of you. Yang Xiao knelt on the ground and pleaded Ning Mengyao. Ning Mengyao lowered her head to stare at Yang Xiao and threw Madame Luo on the ground. Madame Luo, who fainted, slowly regained her consciousness. Seeing Ning Mengyao, she started to curse in anger. You little sl*t, daring to throw this old lady. This old lady will go all out against you. The mass saw that Ning Mengyao originally wanted to release Madame Luo, but now that she ruined it, their faces became strange. Madame Luo really did not know what was good for her. Chapter 63. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Vesper. Ning Mengyao was silently speechless as she stared at the middle-aged woman cursing her, her eyebrows scrunched. Didn't they all say that ancient people were loyal and honest? Then why were these women like shrews? She had thought about whether or not should she let her go this once, since what Yang Xiao said was right. If she really sent Madame Luo to the county, then Yang Xiao's reputation would be ruined, and a maiden whose reputation was ruined, could she marry well? Ning Mengyao thought not. Even if she strongly disliked Madame Luo, she could not ruin Yang Xiao's reputation. But could this Madame Luo stop digging her own grave? Did they not know the phrase "you won't die if you don't dig your own grave"? Yang Xiao's face went through drastic change. She could felt that Ning Mengyao had softened her heart just now, but hearing those words, the situation changed. Not waiting for Yang Xiao to say anything, Ning Mengyao walked to the front of Madame Luo and slapped her. Even though you're not thinking for yourself, you should think for your daughter. Is cursing like this good? Ning Mengyao faintly glanced at Madame Luo's face that resembled a pig. Madame Luo gaped and her face was burning red with shame. Yang Hua saw his wife being hit and became angry. He could hit her, but not others. She is your elder. Ning Mengyao, you actually hit her, you shrew. Yang Hua's face was burning with anger. Ning Mengyao silently looked at Yang Hua. When did she become a shrew? Was it just because of that slap? If she was a shrew, then what did the manly woman of the modern time count as? Fine, it seems that my kind-heartedness is seen as ill-intent. Aunt Yang, please help me. Ning Mengyao glanced at Yang Hua's family briefly. Madame Yang heard her and immediately walked up to tie Madame Luo up and put her in the cow cart to go to the town. Seeing the cow cart slowly leaving, Yang Xiao finally reacted and ran to block their way. Mengyao, I know that my parents are at fault about this, but can you release them for me just this once? How big is your face skin? Ning Mengyao coldly looked at Yang Xiao. Chance by chance she gave them, but they did not cherish. This could not be blamed on her. Lulu, pull Yang Xiao away. Yang Lulu nodded and pulled Yang Xiao as the cart left carrying people in it. No one said that Ning Mengyao was cruel-hearted or too much and felt that this should be done. They all could see that Ning Mengyao was truly intending to release Madame Luo, but Madame Luo actually cursed her. Was this not jabbing at people's hearts? Served her right. Madame Luo was carried to the country. Ning Mengyao created noise to wake the country lord up. Because his comfortable sleep was interrupted, the face of the county lord was not good and heard that someone was a theft and there was solid evidence. Moreover, the thing stolen was still in the theft's house. Once the hammer was down, the punishment was going in prison for 3 months and being hit by the plank 10 times. After managing this matter, Ning Mengyao thanked the county lord and left with Madame Yang using the same cow cart to go back to the village. When the 3 people went back, the villagers had not leave. Knowing Madame Luo was punished with 10 planks and 3 months prison, Yang Xiao fainted while Yang Hua just reacted. This was their fault. The crowd felt that this result was to be expected and went back to their own home. Ning Mengyao gave the cart driver some money and then moved her things back to her house. But she won't be wanting the jar of oil because she saw dirty things on its surface which made her disgusted. After Ning Mengyao left, Yang Xiao's eyes were filled with dark hate and cruelty. I will not let this matter off like this. She had begged over and over again, but Ning Mengyao still did not let this go. How could this not make her angry? Furious. Not only her, Yang Lulu and her family would not be left off too. Sooner or later, she would make them pay out for this matter. Xiao Air. Dad, don't worry, I will think of a way. Yang Xiao Air cut off Yang Hua's words softly. In her heart, she thought that her father was useless, not only able to help, he even made problems. Chapter 64. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Vesper. Solving Madame Luo's problem, Ning Mengyao went back home to bath and sleep. On the morning of the second day, she took her back basket to hike up the mountain, because the grapes in that place had almost been plucked empty by her, yet she was also not familiar to this part of the upper mountain. Right when she was feeling troubled, Ning Mengyao saw Qiao Tianchang, who was descending the mountain, and her eyes lit up. He went up and down the mountain every day, so he should know, right? Wait a moment. Qiao Tianchang had long seen Ning Mengyao, but he had no intention of greeting. Hearing her calling him, he halted his footsteps. Is there anything? Ning Mengyao nodded. Of course she had a matter, and it was an important one too. Do you know which part of the mountain that has this kind of seed? Ning Mengyao's bright eyes gazed at Qiao Tianchang, her eyes filled with anticipation. Lowering his head to see the seed on her hand, Qiao Tianchang nodded. I know, a lot. This made Ning Mengyao happy. Her voice carried some coquettishness. Can you bring me to pick them up? Qiao Tianchang lowered his head, not understanding why Ning Mengyao would want those. Did she like to eat such sour thing? But it was already half a basket full, shouldn't it be enough? They are very sour. I know. I am not eating it, I want to brew wine, grape wine. You help me collect them, and when I've brewed the wine, I will give you half of it, how about it? Ning Mengyao's pair of eyes shone brightly as she looked at Qiao Tianchang. Qiao Tianchang was already interested when she mentioned brewing wine, and now looking at her pair of bright eyes, he could not help but smile. From the first time he met her, she was cold and aloof, but she also had this kind of cute side. All right, I'll help you. You bring those home and I will enter the mountain to pluck the fruits, they are at the deep part of the mountain. Qiao Tianchang looked at Ning Mengyao as he gave his praise to her. Fortunately, today's praise were not too many, so he was not afraid that she could not take them all. Okay. Ning Mengyao laughed as she nodded, taking his praise, and turned to leave. As to how she would take the grapes once Qiao Tianchang finished plucking them, she did not consider it. Coming back home, Ning Mengyao brewed the grapes she had on her hand to wine, then looked at the praise. She pondered for a while. Qiao Tianchang helped her, so shouldn't she invite him to dine? Thinking this, Ning Mengyao boiled water to cook the chicken after plucking its feathers. When Qiao Tianchang carried a basket full of grapes back, Ning Mengyao had finished cooking her meal. Qiao Tianchang smelt strong smell of delicious food when he stepped inside and rubbed his stomach. He suddenly felt hungry. You're back. Let's eat. Ning Mengyao greeted Qiao Tianchang. Qiao Tianchang nodded and walked to the side of the well to wash his face. There were many delicious foods on the table that made Qiao Tianchang had a feeling of wanting to drool. Thank you for helping me pick up the fruits. You're welcome. Qiao Tianchang nodded as he ate. The taste was really good, better than the dishes he had ate before. Ning Mengyao did not speak, only slowly eating at the side. After eating the meal, Qiao Tianchang saw that Ning Mengyao was opening the basket, seemingly wanting to start brewing wine, so he asked. Do you want me to help you? The sugar in my jar is not enough, can you help me buy? I will give you the money. She took out the silvers. Coincidentally, I want to sell my praise. Helping you buy is fine since there is my part of the wine. Let me share the fee of the wine. Qiao Tianchang said as he took his praise to walk out. Ning Mengyao was stunned then laughed as she continued brewing wine. After waiting for him to buy the wine jar and sugar, Ning Mengyao had half finished brewing. For the next few days, Xiao Tianchang would bring a big bat out and at noon, brought a bag full of grapes to Ning Mengyao's house, making her felt embarrassed. So she cooked delicious foods for Xiao Tianchang every day and made a few cans of meat paste using his praise and gave him some of her mushroom paste. This made Xiao Tianchang very happy. From the first time he ate, he wanted to ask for it but felt too embarrassed to ask. Because of the matter of brewing wine, the relationship between the two slowly became closer. Chapter 65 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Vesper after the wine was almost finished brewed, Ning Mengyao just realized that while the farm and the fish pond had been made, they were not used yet. Mulling over it, Ning Mengyao decided that she would buy a few chicken and ducks to raise. But if she was the one who did that, then the result would no be satisfactory. What should she do then? Rubbing her jaw, she decided to find someone to oversee it. Once she thought of hiring someone, Ning Mengyao frowned. It was a bit difficult since she did not know who in the village would suit that role. Leaning over at the desk as she pondered with glazed eyes. This was how she was when Xiao Tianchang entered and walked to her side. He inclined his head and looked at her eyes. What are you doing? The head that was suddenly in front of her shocked Ning Mengyao that she jumped, causing her to fall onto Xiao Tianchang's body. Careful. You're an adult yet still clumsy. Xiao Tianchang helplessly looked at Ning Mengyao and told her in a low voice. Ning Mengyao freed herself from his embrace with a red face and her eyes darted left and right, not looking at Xiao Tianchang. Such a manner made Xiao Tianchang amused as he shook his head. I come today to ask you a favor. Xiao Tianchang rightfully looked at Ning Mengyao, his eyes were serious. Ednel.co Ning Mengyao stared at him doubtfully. Let me hear it. Can you help me make some meat paste and mushroom paste? Count it as me buying them from you. Xiao Tianchang told her what he came for. No need. If you want to eat then take them from here, no need to buy. Ning Mengyao lightly shook her head and earnestly gazed at Xiao Tianchang. He had helped her many times, this should count as repaying benevolence. Xiao Tianchang rose as he looked eye to eye with Ning Mengyao and spoke with a serious tone. I actually want to send these to my friend. Ning Mengyao foolishly stared at Xiao Tianchang, looking at the person in front of her with a dull expression. Can't I do it? Not that you can't, just a bit troublesome. I cannot do it on my own. Ning Mengyao shrugged her shoulder and faintly spoke. Xiao Tianchang gazed at Ning Mengyao's small body and understood what she meant. At last, he just stayed silent, not speaking. How about I let someone build a small workshop? Once I finished, you let your friend come over. Currently, she wanted to do her own things and like that, opening a small workshop was not bad. Xiao Tianchang mulled it over and felt that it was okay. If he immediately buy, then she would definitely sell at a cheap price. Since he wanted her to earn money, then he won't let her eat loss. Alright. Don't worry, he's not lacking money. When the time comes, don't hold back. Ning Mengyao speechlessly stared at Xiao Tianchang and rubbed her nose, depressingly said. Do I look like someone who do dishonest trade? Not alike. Do I look like someone in need of money? Xiao Tianchang looked at her and shook his head. More money won't prick you hand. Ning Mengyao held her chin as she stared at Xiao Tianchang using a gaze that made him could not help but rubbed his neck and looked at her in alert. Why are you staring at me like that? Nothing. I just want to ask whether or not you want to share income. We will split the profit in half. Ning Mengyao saw that he was using a vigilant gaze to look at herself and shrugged her shoulder, indicating that she was innocent. Xiao Tianchang pondered and felt it could be done. Okay, but I don't want half, 3/10 is fine. Fine. I will ask help from Uncle Yang to search for the person. They are more familiar with the village. Let's find an honest man to manage. Ning Mengyao rubbed her chin and leisurely said. You decide on this, I only manage the income. Ning Mengyao rolled her eyes at Xiao Tianchang. It's easy to say. You're family with the town and I want to search for commodity supply. How can we do it without supply? What do you plan to do? Her hand tapping the desk, Ning Mengyao thought about the different kind of pastes in her past life and she knew not little of them. She actually could make fermented bean curd which was likely never seen here before. There are many types of paste such as cow meat paste, rabbit meat paste, chicken meat paste and other things like making paste using beans which are not the same with the ones made by the villagers. Ning Mengyao told him what she wanted to make. Okay, you decide on them. I don't understand. Chapter 66 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Vesper, cow meat is a bit hard to find so cross it off. While the rabbit, it is a must to buy it at the start, but you can give me some rabbits to keep. Her resources were better. She wanted to grow chicken and duck, if not, then when she needed the resource then it would be troublesome. Alright, I'll help you catch. Ning Mengyao hummed her agreement and the two of them discussed other things, then she looked at Xiao Tianchang. I am a bit curious. Why does your friend wants to buy this? He came to me once and thought that it was delicious so he wanted to buy it. The rabbit meat paste and mushroom paste that Ning Mengyao made was indeed delicious. In the morning, he steamed mantou and did not make any other dishes. Just by using the paste, he could eat 5 to 6 big mantous that were delicious. If these were to be sold, the profit would be huge. Oh, like this ah. Then I will ascend the mountain to test my luck. After speaking with Ning Mengyao, Xiao Tianchang prepared to go up the mountain. Who knew whether or not he would catch some rabbits? After Xiao Tianchang left, Ning Mengyao went to the village. Arriving at Yang Zhu's house, she noticed that Yang Zhu was not in, but Yang Yi was. Big brother Yang, are your legs fine? Ning Mengyao thought of this and asked earnestly. Yang Yi looked at his own legs and nodded with a smile. It's fine already, thanks to little sister Yu. Then can I ask help from big brother Yang? Ning Mengyao considered a bit and asked. Yang Yi stopped what he was doing and stared at Ning Mengyao in focus. Please say. I built chicken den since I am planning to raise chickens, ducks, and rabbit. I can also raise some pigs but I cannot manage all of those so I am thinking of finding someone to help me manage. Can you do it? I can give you salary every month. Ning Mengyao spoke, feeling that this idea was not bad, so she looked at him. I am doing this to open a sauce workshop. Can you help me? I can, why can't I? Yang Yi immediately nodded. He did not question how much money he would get. Able to help her and his family, this work was good. Seeing Yang Yi agreed, Ning Mengyao smiled. Then we decided it like this. Do you know which place sell chicks and baby ducks? I know. If you want to buy, I will accompany you. Okay, let's go right now. The two of them left spiritedly. When they came back, Ning Mengyao's house was filled with a few hundred baby ducks and chicks. She also told Yang Yi to come tomorrow to help. After dealing with the problem of chicken and ducks, Ning Mengyao faintly creased her brow. Now was the time to open the sauce workshop, could it really sell? She closed her eyes to thoroughly think this through, and when her eyes snapped open, Ning Mengyao's eyes were clear, having decided what she was going to do. She took out her brush and paper, then started to write and draw. When Ning Mengyao had finished her work, the sky was dark. The next morning, Ning Mengyao searched for the people who helped her build the chicken den and told them that she wanted to create a small workshop. Since there were many people, things were done quickly and the workshop was built. At the same time, Ning Mengyao's burden lessened. She only needed the things to be prepared and she could start. While waiting for the working equipments, Ning Mengyao went to the houses of some of her students in hope that some women could come over to help. Ning Mengyao did not plan on making this workshop big. She was only starting now, and if the situation turned out favorable, she might consider it. In 5 days' time, Ning Mengyao had done the rest of the job. Xiao Tiancheng was also searching for the ingredients. He had caught a total of 11 pairs of rabbits and not little amount of baby rabbits, though he did not know how many rabbit meat sauce could be made out of them. Is everything ready? Xiao Tiancheng raised an eyebrow to Ning Mengyao. Lightly nodding, she answered. Of course. I've spent that much time. How could it not? That's true. Xiao Tiancheng shrugged and faintly commented. The two of them stared at each other yet kept silent. At last, Xiao Tiancheng opened his mouth. Since you have the workshop, have you thought of hiring a few workers? If many things required her personal handling, it would be too troublesome. It was better to hire 2 people to help her. Chapter 67. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Vesper. Ning Mengyao carefully pondered what Xiao Tiancheng said. When she wanted to do nothing before, having and not having was the same. Now, doing these, she naturally needed to hire a few people. Rubbing her forehead, she said. I know. There is a need to hire 2 people here. You should see to it. Xiao Tiancheng only suggested this. After discussing, Ning Mengyao went to the town the next morning to buy some slaves and bring them back to the village. When she arrived, seeing a few people, Ning Mengyao thought to herself whether or not she should turn her back and leave. What kind of person do this maiden wants? I have every kind, please take a look. The slave owner saw that Ning Mengyao was wearing good clothes, so she sucked up as she spoke. Ning Mengyao took a deep breath. She saw the people inside and pointed to 3 girls, a middle-aged man, and a middle-aged woman. Buying 5 at once, the owner smiled so wide that only her teeth was seen, not her eyes. Ning Mengyao took them back and closed the door, then scanned the 5 people. Seeing young miss. The 5 of them knelt at once and respectfully looked at Ning Mengyao. Uncle Jiang, why are you here? Ning Mengyao rubbed her forehead. She did not tell them where she would be living when she left, how could they find her here? Jiang Quan frowned as he stared at Ning Mengyao and disapprovingly said. We were searching for young miss but realized that young miss's courtyard had been burnt to ashes. At the time, I disapproved young miss live in that kind of place, but you did not listen. Heaven knew how worried they were when they saw the ground full of mess. They did not understand why the young miss chose to live in such a small village courtyard instead of a big good one. Ning Mengyao was stunned. So they came because of this. The courtyard was burnt by me. What? You burnt his? Young miss, why is that? Jiang Quan looked at his own young miss in disbelief. Did she not like that courtyard very much? Why did she burn it down? Ning Mengyao's expression stiffened as her face carried a stiff smile. Uncle Jiang, it's like this. Ning Mengyao told them what happened. Hearing this, Jiang Quan's face became white. That D***mn Ling Luo. Does he think that he is so great since he's a heir? D***mn it. We will cut off the supply of their residence. It's fine, Uncle Jiang. I am fine. I have no relation with him. Seeing Uncle Jiang becoming that angry, Ning Mengyao lightly laughed. Jiang Quan stared at his young miss while heaved a long sigh, his eyes carried helplessness. At the beginning, they felt that Ling Luo was young miss good match, but now, he was a scum. The girl wearing green clothes at the side angrily said. Young miss, with just a word of yours, I will ruin their house. It's fine, Qing Shui. You are a girl, so don't shout hit shout kill. Ning Mengyao stroked her forehead and sighed. How come the people under here were all violent? Young miss, I think what Qing Shui said is right. The girl with a cold expression beside Qing Shui stared at Ning Mengyao. When did their young miss become someone others could bully? It was throwing one's life. It was because of that scum man, they searched for a long time to find their young miss, really angering them. Ning Mengyao, who did not know whether to laugh or cry, looked at the furious girl. Qing Shuang, I am fine. This is also not bad. I no longer have any relation to him. Alright, you guys. Since young miss said she's fine, then don't speak about this matter again. But don't let that man near young miss, you hear me? The middle-aged posy, woman who teaches girls in ancient times about conducts, gazed at Qing Shui and Qing Shuang and instructed with a cold voice. Yes, Qin Popo. No one knew the name of Qin Popo. They had called her Qin Popo since the moment they met her. Since you guys came, then stay here. Building a workshop here to play is not bad. Ning Mengyao covered her mouth and yawned. She looked at them and spoke casually. Qing Shui stared at Ning Mengyao and laughed. Don't worry, young miss. What are you planning on doing this time? Sauce. There was someone who wants it, so I just make it. Oh, fine. Leave it to us. All right. Chapter 68. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Vesper. The arrival of Qing Shui and the rest made Ning Mengyao a bit relieved. When Xiao Tianchang came, the five of them used an inspective gaze to look at him, which made his heart felt strange. His heart felt as if he had offended them. That. Have I offended you all? What kind of things had he not seen? But when he saw Qin Popo and Jiang Quan gazed over, Xiao Tianchang had a feeling of wanting to escape in front of them. Seeing Qin Popo and the others used an exploring and vigilant gaze to look at Xiao Tianchang, and seeing Xiao Tianchang's very cautious demeanor, Ning Mengyao could not help but laugh. All right, Qin Popo, he is my friend, also the person I am working with about the workshop. Qin Popo looked at Xiao Tianchang, her pair of eyes were sharp as if shooting arrow. Work together. Young miss, this person is bearing ill intention, you should distance yourself from him. Moreover, man and woman should not be too intimate, doesn't he know this? Ning Mengyao almost puked blood because of what Qin Popo said. I really have nothing with him. Big brother Qiao is a good person, he helped me many times. All right. Qin Popo, young miss knows what she is doing. Do not be vigilant to people as if they are thieves. I feel that this man is good. Jiang Quan saw that Qin Popo still wanted to say something, so he immediately cut her off. That's right, Qin Popo, he is guest who came over, you cannot stop him from entering, right? Qing Zhu smiled at Qin Popo. Being refuted by a group of people made Qin Popo embarrassed, so she walked to Jiang Quan's side and out busying. Seeing Qin Popo leaving, Ning Mengyao heaved a relieved sigh. She told Xiao Tianchang in a demeanor of not knowing whether she should cry or laugh. Big brother Qiao, I am sorry for earlier. It's nothing. Are these the ones you've brought today? Xiao Tianchang lifted his brow to the leaving people. If he had not seen it wrong, these people were very good to Ning Mengyao and did not have any feeling of unfamiliarity. This was only something people who knew each other long could have. It seemed that this girl was not ordinary orphan. Yes, Qin Popo is like that. She is only worried about me. I can see that. But this Qin Popo was skilled. That gaze made him thought of those old women who taught etiquette. Ning Mengyao was discussing things with Xiao Tianchang at one side, while at the other side, Qin Popo was staring at Jiang Quan. Jiang Quan is letting young miss alone with that man fine. Can you not see it? Young miss relationship with that youth is good. Jiang Quan looked at Qin Posy helplessly. He could understand Qin Posy's worry since she thought of her as her own daughter. When she first knew about Ling Luo and young miss relationship, she had spent a very long time to accept it. She had felt that Ling Luo was not a good person and did not deserve Ning Mengyao. At that time, they all thought that she was thinking too much, but now, it seemed that she did not think too much, that man was truly not qualified, their young miss. I know. There was that Ling Luo, I am afraid that young miss will be fooled. Qin Posi frowned as she unhappily spoke. Although Xiao Tianchong grew up good and their young miss also like, but she could not rest assured. Qin Popo, we know that you are worried for young miss, but why don't you think what kind of personality young miss have? Since she can get along with that person well, then that means she had accepted him. Qin Zhu told Qin Popo earnestly. That's right. Moreover, Popo, can you feel it? Young miss is very relaxed in front of that youth. This had not happened in front of that heir. Qin Shuang was very discerning as she spoke with Qin Posi. Hearing the two people saying so, Qin Posi thought back and felt that it was true. When young miss saw that youth, the smile on her face was very relaxed. Since it's like that, then we will observe. Qin Posi was a bit dissatisfied. Jiang Quan looked at Qin Posi, not knowing whether to cry or laugh as he shook his head. You're like this. I really do not know what to do with you. Qin Posi sent Jiang Quan a scornful gaze. Young miss is such a good person. We naturally have to find the best son. In law, especially after experiencing Ling Luo's matter. One Ling Luo had made her burn down the courtyard she like. If there was another happening, what would young miss do? Chapter 69. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Vesper Jiang Quan speechlessly stared at Qin Posi and wanted to tell her a sentence, do you want to hide? But seeing her furrowing her brows, a face full of worry, he finally decided not to say anything that was a blow to her. Alright, it's not time to say things like this. Although young miss do not mind, but we still have to vex Ling Luo. Jiang Quan curved his eyes, his tone dangerous. At the beginning, when Ling Luo was with their young miss had told them to work with Ling Luo to help him. And because of this, Ling Luo's position in the marquis residence rose. But now, his position was high, becoming the heir, but he dared to want young miss to become concubine. Truly seeking death. Yes. Spread out words. Make them start pressuring marquis residences shops, but don't make it too obvious. Qin Posi nodded, looking at Qin Shui and the rest coldly speaking. Yes. They had just arrived here and was not familiar with this place, so they roamed the place together and realized that this place was not bad. There was a very big pond that could be used to grow fishes, shrimps, and crabs. Turtles and lotus roots could be brought here too, so when autumn came, it would be quite the harvest. Qin Zhu observed the surrounding. We can plant some medicinal plants here. To prevent chicken and ducks getting sick. They had a few lands like this in their hands and every one of them had medicinal plants grown there. Then this matter will be handed to you. Qin Posi nodded, these had been what she was doing all along. Qin Zhu agreed with a hum, indicating that she knew. They had roamed once and when they went back, Ning Mengyao was still talking with Xiao Tianchong. That harmonious scene made Qin Posi could not help but furrowed her brows. Since it's like that, then I will first return. Xiao Tianchong really did not want to continue seeing that old woman here, as if he had stolen something of hers. Staring at Xiao Tianchong and then staring at Qin Posi, how could Ning Mengyao still not understand what was happening? She smiled and nodded. Okay, when the time comes, I will let someone call you. All right. When Xiao Tianchong left, Qin Posi walked front. Young miss, do you like that young man? Ning Mengyao touched her forehead with a face filled with helplessness as she looked at Qin Posi. Qin Popo, can we not talk about this? Cannot, young miss, I. Qin Popo, you know that young miss had built a workshop. Let us see it, if not, we won't know anything. Qin Shui saw Ning Menyao's expression of distress and spoke up. Qin Popo thought it over and it was indeed as said, this matter needed to be known clearly, so she left with Qin Shui and the other girls, leaving Ning Menyao and Jiang Quan behind. Young Miss is still that afraid of Qin Posey. Ning Menyao laughed bitterly as she turned to Jiang Quan. Uncle Jiang, you know that I really cannot stand Qin Popo's naggings. I am only friends with Big Brother Qiao, he is really good to me and helped me a lot here. Qiao Tianchang had indeed helped her a lot these past time. Seeing that their relationship was good, Qin Posey was adamant that she liked him. This made her heart felt weird. How could she like him and not know about it? How can young miss not clear about what kind of person Qin Posey is? She is just worried about you. Jiang Quan smiled at Ning Menyao with a kind face. Ning Menyao heavily sighed, looking at Jiang Quan with a face filled with wronged expression. I know that she is doing it for my good, but her way of relaying things is very straightforward, making me feel weird. Her relationship with Qiao Tianchang was so pure it could be any more pure. Being told by Qin Popo was as if they had something going on between them. Jiang Quan smiled at Ning Menyao in mirth and helplessly shook his head. Just when he wanted to speak, a girl rushed in from outside. Ning Menyao squinted her eyes. What that not Yang Xiu-er? What are you doing here? Yang Xiu-er looked at Ning Menyao in stunned, not knowing how to begin speaking, letting her to release her mother. Menyao, think of this as me asking you. Please release my mom. She's that old, she could die in the prison. Yang Xiu-er begged Ning Menyao. Ning Menyao deeply inhaled and her eyes which looked at Ning Menyao were filled with the coldness of ice. Why should I release her? It's only 3 months, not 3 years. Besides, what did she do? Now, you're begging me. Chapter 70 You are listening at novelfull.audio. Translator. Vesper Ning Menyao really disliked this kind of person. They only knew to ask for forgiveness only after doing something wrong. She had endured time and time again. What else could they want? Did they think that she was easy to bully? Qin Posey saw a girl around young Miss age kneeling in front of her when they came back, so she frowned as she walked over, seeing the person on the ground. Young Miss, what is this? It's nothing. I will hand over the workshop to Popo. Ning Menyao shook her head, not wanting to discuss this. Although she did not want to say, but Yang Xiu-er wanted to fuss over this. That cannot do. You cannot do this to me. My mom really knows her wrong. Menyao, you're also not lacking those things. Why are you so cruel? Ning Menyao blinked and was angered until she laughed by Yang Xiu-er's words. I do not lack those, but so what? Why should I give your family? She used that kind of method to take my things, and if you really think so, why wait so long to find me? Qing Shui, throw her out, do not let her enter in the future. Yes, young miss. The 2 girls grabbed Yang Xiu-er's arms and dragged her out. Yang Xiu-er looked at Ning Menyao with hate. How could things turn out this way? She thought that Ning Menyao threw Madame Luo in prison was because of heat in the moment. Now that she had calmed down, shouldn't Ning Menyao release her mom? But now what? She was thrown out. This was simply great disgrace. Qing Shui saw the hate Yang Xiu-er had in her eyes when glaring at Ning Menyao, and her mouth curved in a mocking smile. Don't use that kind of gaze when looking at our young miss. Do you believe that I will gouge your eyes out? You dare. You can try whether we dare or not. Although I do not know what happened, but if you provoke our young miss, or make our young miss unhappy, you can try. Yang Xiu-er was angered until her whole body trembled. She could not believe that in few short days, there appeared these people in Ning Menyao's house. And that girl who spoke had fearsome gaze. She completely believed that the girl could do what she said. Freed from the 2 girls' clamp, Yang Xiao stumbled as she ran out. Yang Chui noticed Yang Xiao who ran flustered and furrowed her brows in unhappiness. Didn't I tell you to find that SL*T? Why are you back? You want to find, then go yourself. I won't go. Thinking back to Qing Shui's gaze, Yang Xiao eyes were filled with fear. L.RG Yang Chui stared at Yang Xiao in irony. Useless. Yang Xiao did not speak, though her heart had contempt. If you're not useless, then go try to say what I did. Out, out, out. Don't ruin the scenery by being here. Yang Chui swat her hands in impatient as she snapped in disgust. From the matter of Wang Lizi, she would be pointed by people every time she went out. Because of her big brother Yang Huai, although they did not dare to do anything to her, but the feeling of being pointed out by people was not pleasant. That was why she thought of a way, which was to bring Ning Mengyao trouble. Only if Ning Mengyao had trouble, then the people talking about her would talk about Ning Mengyao instead and not tangle about her. But she did not think that Yang Xiao would be that useless. Seeing Yang Xiao leave, Yang Chui suddenly called her. Wait. You stealthily spread out what happened today, saying that Ning Mengyao is cruel and malicious, just taint her reputation. Someone who did not put the crowd in her eyes, who would like. Especially here. Yang Xiao glanced at Yang Chui. She wanted to refuse, but just nodded in the end. I know. At last, rumors spread about Ning Mengyao being cruel and malicious, her heart was vicious. But since Ning Mengyao did not go to the village, she did not know. But one day, Qin Posi went to the village and heard about this rumor, her face became dark and gloomy. When she went back, she had not warmed for a long time. Ning Mengyao blinked at Qin Posi who was angered to this point and doubtfully looked at the person beside. What happened? How can Popo went out for a while and became this mad? Qing Shui and the others shook their head to say that they did not know. Popo, what happened?